I just felt like, he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's, using what he got to shield him.
Bro, when people, what I got from that is he's a hater. If you don't know me as a person, let's say you don't like me. You don't know me.
Boxing is strictly for a check now. It's just all about getting a check. They're going to be fake fighting. They're going to probably fake fight 12 rounds.
Terence Crawford recently took aim at Gervonta Davis in a live interview after new allegations of rigging surfaced. Crawford made it clear that he doesn't like Davis and believes that Davis hides behind his power and fame. He suggested that Davis uses his influence to protect his position, even going so far as to fix fights and sway decisions to maintain his status in boxing.
Tank said I was a meat lover. He came in, he was like, oh, this guy, you a meat lover.
But Tank would never even think about hesitating to come up to 154.
All right, what about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. If Tank get to pick his opponent, he would do it. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Y'all was doing the back and forth. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens, or is it like...
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like I really don't like him. I don't like.
Just not your cup of tea. That's just not your.
I don't like nothing about him. No, I don't like nothing about him. I just felt like he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. Like he got a lot of security guards around him, and he he in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
I respect him as a fighter.
Yeah.
He definitely got skills. He got power. He got tremendous boxing ability, but like his core personality and his ways, nah.
Crawford didn't hold back when mocking Davis, challenging his credibility as a true fighter. Crawford said that if Davis truly wanted to be great, he should step up and fight him. His comments questioned Davis's willingness to face real challenges, implying that Davis avoids tough fights in order to protect his record and reputation.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that's moving up 2 weight classes and daring to be great.
You would fight him,
man. Tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Ooh. Wow, man. Gervonta said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147 for him.
Ooh, see, oh, man.
You're going to have a pre-camp.
Then what the people going to say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know.
Crawford also expressed his frustration on social media, stating they robbed that boy and it's crazy. His comments reflect the growing belief that Lamont Roach Jr. was unfairly denied victory in the controversial fight. Many fans and analysts agree with Crawford, arguing that the judging and officiating favored Davis, despite questionable moments in the match. This has sparked ongoing debates about corruption in boxing and the influence of big-name fighters. Crawford's reaction highlights a wider frustration with the sport's integrity, with many believing Roach was treated unfairly. In response, Davis dismissed Crawford's criticism, calling him a hater and questioning how Crawford could judge him without knowing him personally. Davis expressed frustration, suggesting that people often make judgments about him without truly understanding who he is, further fueling the tension between the two fighters.
Bro, when people, what I got from that is he's a hater. If you don't know me as a person, let's say you don't like me. You don't know me. You feel me? And I don't give a everybody including Will.
Same question for you. You're a proud father.
After the controversial outcome of the Davis versus Roach fight, many fans expressed their disappointment, claiming that boxing no longer feels like a legitimate sport. There's a growing belief that high-profile fights, like those involving Gervonta Davis, are rigged, with outcomes that seem predetermined. Critics argue that the entire 12-round match was manipulated and that Davis knew what the result would be before stepping into the ring. This perception has led to serious backlash, with fans questioning the credibility of boxing overall.
See, this is why I just don't watch boxing anymore, because Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Davis, are we being so fucking serious right now? Boxing is strictly for a check now. It's just all about getting a check. They're going to be fake fighting. They're going to probably fake fight 12 rounds so they get the max amount of money. Gervonta Davis said he was going to retire after this so he could get...
Okay, now it's the Jig's turn to talk. Let's talk about it. Is Gervonta Davis fighting Roach, or is Roach fighting Tank for a check? Absolutely, I'll give it to him. He's not going to win this fight. Fuck it. And as much as guys seem like I hate Tank, which I really don't, you would think I would agree with her on some aspects of her argument or point, statement, whatever the fuck you want to call this bullshit. They're going to fake fight for 12 to maximize the payout? No, these guys don't get paid by the hour. Let's be blunt, let's be honest, let's get strictly to the point. Gervonta Tank Davis, there's nothing fake about his victims. I'm going to call them victims instead of opponents. I think that's more suitable. And we get it. His resume is absolute ass. His resume is shit. We get that. And this is the thing about Tank. Bombs are going to drop from this guy. Bombs are going to hail from his hands. Leather is going to be thrown. And there's going to be a 93% chance you're in the danger zone. And there's going to be a 100% chance that if you're in that danger zone, that bitch is going to hurt. There's nothing fake about this left hand Frank Martin caught. He happened to be one of the 93%. And he felt that motherfucker, and he felt all of it.
A major criticism against Davis is that he avoids facing top-tier opponents who could truly challenge him. Many believe Davis handpicks his fights, only competing against opponents he's confident he can beat. This has been particularly noticeable in his reluctance to grant a rematch to Ryan Garcia, and his avoidance of a potential fight with Terence Crawford. Critics accuse Davis of manipulating his career to maintain an undefeated record, rather than proving himself against the best in the sport.
So Gervonta Tank Davis has finally established himself as the biggest duck in boxing. There's always been a debate, you know, we throw Brian Norman in there, we throw Canelo in there, then we got Tank, we have the top 3 pound-for-pound ducks. Tank has went head and shoulders above everybody else. He's become the undisputed pound-for-pound #1 duck in boxing. Yesterday he had his press conference with Lamont Roach. He spoke about Shakur Stevenson. Let's take a look at it. So someone asked him about a Shakur fight. He immediately dismissed it. He said, and I quote, "For what? What has Shakur done? What has he done in the sport? He hasn't done nothing. Keyshawn Davis is looking way better than him, and Keyshawn hasn't even done nothing." I'm afraid of what? For us fighters to be afraid of someone, it has to be someone who's hitting us and hurting us. He doesn't have no offense. Everything is defense. Defense only wins in basketball and football. That shit don't win in boxing. So this is a clear, obvious duck. The whole, what did you win, whatever. Shakur has won way more than Tank has won in his career. He's a 3-division unified champion, and he's actually fighting in his 3rd division where Tank isn't. And like I said, he's a unified champion. He's a silver medalist, so he's accomplished objectively more than Tank. Let me just get this right. You're not afraid of Shakur because he can't hurt you, he can't punch, and he's only defense. But you're not going to fight him. So if Shakur can't hurt you, if Shakur stands no chance, he hasn't done anything, he's some type of bum, but he's the biggest, one of the biggest money fights you can take, why not just knock him out? Just make it look easy, since he's such a bum, since he hasn't done anything and he can't hurt you. Just go in there and knock him out. The same way you made this Lamont Roach fight happen so quickly, same way you made Frank Martin, Hector Luis Garcia, all these other guys, Rolly Romero, Isaac Cruz happen. Make Shakur happen. He'll take it in a heartbeat. Just go in there, stop him. Take your $40-50 million check and just be gone with it. But he knows that won't happen. He knows more than likely Shakur would outpoint him about 9-3, 8-4. You guys let me know. Do you think Tank is the, well, obviously he's the #1 duck in boxing. Do you think he's an all-time great duck?
Crawford also expressed his frustration with the referee's decision during the Davis vs. Roach fight, taking to Twitter to call out the controversial ruling. He said, "I never seen someone take a knee and they don't count it as a knockdown. Must have forgotten the rules for tonight." Crawford's words reflect the widespread disbelief over how the fight was officiated, adding fuel to the speculation that the match may have been rigged. His comment highlights the growing calls for stricter officiating and greater transparency in boxing events. The decision not to count Davis's knee as a knockdown has shocked the boxing community, as this kind of ruling is unprecedented. Many believe Davis received special treatment due to his power and influence within the sport. If this trend continues, boxing risks losing credibility as a fair competition, with rules seemingly changing depending on who is in the ring.
Never in my life have I seen a boxer take a knee mid-round and the referee acts like it didn't even happen. And Tank's excuse was, oh, I got grease in my eye. It does not matter. You took a voluntary knee. That should be a 10-8 round. And again, the referee just acts like it was no big deal. And you probably had grease in your eye because Lamont Roach Jr. knocked the grease in your eye. Boxing is a beautiful sport. I love boxing. I have been watching boxing since before I could even talk. But it is the most corrupt sport in the world, and there truly is not a second place that's even close. They ended up scoring this fight a draw, which was BS even without the knockdown. But with the knockdown, this should have been a clear victory for Lamont Roach Jr. Just actually embarrassing for the sport of boxing. But everybody will wake up tomorrow. Everything will go back to normal. Nobody will care until the next robbery happens. It's just, it's old. It really is. But that's boxing for you. What can you do?
Davis tried to justify taking a knee by claiming that he had grease in his eyes, which made it hard for him to see clearly. However, boxing experts quickly dismissed this excuse, pointing out that if Davis had an issue, he should have told the referee before the round began. Instead, Davis chose to take a knee in the middle of the round, which goes against the official rules of boxing. Experts emphasize that in a professional fight, a boxer can't simply do whatever they want without following the proper protocol. As for a rematch, it's still uncertain whether Davis will agree to face Lamont Roach Jr. again. Many believe that Davis is actively avoiding tough opponents, which is why the rematch hasn't been confirmed yet. Just like he didn't grant a rematch to Ryan Garcia, there's growing speculation that Davis may never fight Roach again.
The rounds, and before the action begins, so the clock hasn't started, the punches aren't being exchanged, and he goes, referee, I have a problem, and takes a knee in that moment. The referee can address it. Well, the round hasn't started. What's going on with you? You know, you've had your minute. What's going on? Bit of grease has gone into my eye, referee. I can't see. Okay, hold it. Get in. Clean his eye. Boom. Sound. Everything good. You can't do that mid-round. If you do that mid-round, especially after Roach has just landed a jab, for all we know, what if one of his knuckles just went straight into the eye? It's only a daft range-finding jab, but what if the knuckle or the thumb went into Gervonta Davis's eye? Maybe it pushed that little innocuous jab, maybe it pushed the eyelashes under his eyelid so he couldn't see. He was blurred in that eye. Maybe in that second he couldn't open his eye. He panics, he takes a knee, runs to the corner, can't see out my eye. They get a towel, stroke it back. You can't do that. I'm sorry, this is a fight. You can't do that. You can't clean, without the referee saying, come in and clean his eye. You can't clean his eye without the referee stopping the fight. The fighter can't stop the fight. Steve Willis's initial instincts were dead right. He should have said, what are you doing? I had something in my eye. I'm going, oh, fuck. I've got to take a point off. He hit you with a jab. You took a knee and he walked away. You weren't defending yourself. I have to take a point off. And in that moment, Steve Willis had to take, I'm sorry, mate. I don't give a fuck whose show it is. Come with me, stay there. Point off, point off, point off.
Good night for the sport. Didn't get what the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss either, so I felt like I won it, the last couple rounds, so it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight. But it's cool.
Okay, questions?
Okay. Tank, is KG with Fight Hype. I wanted to ask Tank, when the decision was read, the way that you reacted, it looked like you was upset. You slammed your gloves on the canvas. What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
I didn't slam my glove on the canvas.
Okay, maybe I mistook from my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need.
Even after the controversy, Davis seemed dismissive of the backlash in a post-fight press conference. He insisted that he thought he won the fight and defended his decision to take a knee. Davis even claimed he didn't know he could be disqualified for it, downplaying the seriousness of the situation. To make matters worse, Davis laughed off the entire incident, treating it as a joke. Many saw this as a clear sign that Davis doesn't take boxing rules seriously, further fueling the belief that he receives preferential treatment in major fights. Lightweight star Ryan Garcia weighed in on the controversy, arguing that Davis's knee should have been counted as a knockdown. Garcia pointed out that taking a knee is a clear rule violation in boxing, and there was no valid reason for the referee to overlook it.
You can't spin it no other way. It's too clear. And I think the commission needs to do something about it because it can give me an incentive, anytime I'm not feeling good in a fight, take a knee.
Well, they said
and that's not a shot at Tank. I respect Tank and I like Tank a lot, but you can't do that shit.
They reversed the result of your fight.
Yeah.
Should they reverse the result of that fight as well?
Just depends. Like if that changes the whole fight, if that gives Roach a victory, give him the victory. That's how you keep the integrity of the sport, right? That's why they suspended me, right, to keep the integrity of the sport. So I feel like if you're gonna do it to me, you got to do it to everybody.
I was in front of this guy, so it was this. But styles make fights, and I know that Tank is shorter. He's fast, but Lamont got good defense, and I just knew exactly how that fight was gonna go. I told everybody that Lamont was gonna be the one pushing forward. Tank was gonna be the boxer, and it literally looked exactly how I thought it was gonna look.
How did you see the actual fight? Like, let's break it down, because you was ringside. You sat. I saw you on Twitter. They showed the videos of you ringside. What did you see in the fight?
Shit, I kind of seen Lamont winning. I really felt like he was in control of the fight. I think Tank had good moments, but I feel like when he was boxing boring, he was more so in control. That's when he was kind of like in control of the fight for me. And when he kind of like tried to fight,
yeah.
Shakur Stevenson also shared his thoughts, stating that Lamont Roach Jr. had more control throughout the fight. Stevenson highlighted Roach's strategy and ring leadership, which allowed him to dominate several rounds. Renowned combat sports analyst Luke Thomas praised Lamont Roach Jr. for his performance, especially considering he moved up from a lower weight class to challenge Davis. Despite this disadvantage, Roach managed to put on an impressive show. Ariel Helwani also weighed in on the fight, describing it as satisfactory but far from exceptional. He pointed out that Davis taking a knee should have been ruled a knockdown, adding to the belief that the fight was rigged in Davis's favor. This only added to the ongoing controversy. It was also reported that before the fight, Davis and Roach had agreed on a $250,000 bet. According to the agreement, if Davis failed to knock down Roach, he would owe him the $250,000.
We will never see that fight happen again. It just will not happen. Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't like hard fights. It's that simple. We've seen it over and over. He fought a Ryan Garcia drained. He fought a very inexperienced Rolly Romero. He will not fight Devin Haney. He will not fight Shakur. He will not fight Pitbull Cruz again. He will not fight Lamont Roach again. He will not fight Tefimo. He will not fight He will not fight those guys. That's just not who Tank is.
Lamont Roach said yesterday that Tank Davis ain't paid him his $250,000 yet. Because they made a bet on camera, shook hands, $250,000 that Tank Davis would knock Lamont Roach out. Pay that man his money or double the bet in the rematch. And if he doesn't want to double the bet, Tank, pay that man his money. Can't be out here betting, bro. You was highly confident you would stop him. You didn't get the job done. If you just as confident you'll stop him in the rematch, double the bet. If you're not, pay that man his money. It's that simple for me, bro. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Should Tank Davis pay Lamont Roach, or should he renege on his bet? Real ones know the right answer to that question. Let me know your comment. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates next time.